Namaskar. The final video on Viveka Panchaka is Mahavakya Viveka. All the four are Nitya Viveka, Dvaita Viveka, Atman Viveka, Panchakosha Viveka. They constitute this Mahavakya. All the four, they are about the wisdom, the knowledge. And then Mahavakya Viveka is ability to know that knowledge is not enough. First you gain the knowledge through the four Vivekas, and then you come to conclusion that the knowledge is not enough. And that is the final wisdom, Mahavakya. Maha means great, and Vakya means utterance, expression, the word, the great wisdom. So you have gained the knowledge, but knowledge is not enough. There has to be something else. If an illiterate person wants to get knowledge, he should be encouraged to do so. But if an intellectual who has already a vanity of knowledge craves for more knowledge, he should be asked to develop actional faculty, to do service, and engage himself in devotion to break the ego of knowledge. So that is the Mahavakya Viveka. There are three yogas, three approaches to Supreme Entity. Jnana Yoga, then Karma Yoga, and then Bhakti Yoga. Yoga of knowledge, yoga of action, and then yoga of love. There is a philosophical interpretation of yoga of knowledge, non-attributional, supra-psychic faculty of knowing. Non-attributional means beyond the attributions. What is attributions? Consciousness clothes itself in the attributions. Consciousness is formless, but due to the action of Prakriti, of nature, it acquires a certain vibrations, wavelengths, and in that cloth, in that package, consciousness behaves itself in a certain way. So that is, so knowing anything is attributional, because consciousness is packed in that package of attributions. So knowing anything in the material sphere is attributional. But knowing something which is beyond the matter is non-attributional. So that non-attributional knowledge is jnana. It is when you renounce the attributions, renounce the physical world, then renounce your body in your meditation, renounce your thoughts, stop your thinking, then go into the source. That is trying to know something which is beyond attributional. Supra-psychic. Supra-psychic means above the psychic level. Knowing that which is not knowable. That is jnana. And that jnana has many, many layers, and it has importance, and it has relevance. But it is also relative relevance. Everything has to be in balance. The jnana, the karma, and the bhakti. Okay, karma is non-attributional, supra-psychic, actional faculty. We act, we do something, motivated by what? By our samskaras, by the actions done in the past, Those things that we have done in the past today create desires in our mind. I want to do this, I like this, I don't like that. I do something because I want to get something, I want to earn something, I want to acquire something, I want to avoid something. This is attributional. And non-attributional, it is you're acting because you cannot act, you feel joy within. And that joy propels you to action. Just like a cloud, when it is when it is mature, that cloud wants to burst and rain. So human being, when he is mature with spirituality, he wants to burst and he wants to give. He doesn't want to get anything because he is full, he is complete. So that is the attitude of service. There are three. One is stealing, another one is business, and another one is service. Stealing means you take without giving anything in return. Business is you give and you take. And service is you give but you don't take. And then human being develop on that. First he likes to steal. He loves. Something free, wow, wonderful. I don't want to pay anything. Then he develops into doing business. No, why should I take? I should give first, then I take. And then he develops into doing service. Why should I take at all? It will spoil the experience. I should only give. So that is non-attributional action. It's not because of your samskaras, not because of your past actions, not because of your cravings, but because of your love. So that service, of course, we as a human beings, it's almost impossible to do this kind of. Best we can do businesses already. Wow, you're great if you're a businessman. But we move there trying to do something which you are not getting anything back from that. You're trying to do something for free. You are trying to give something without expecting anything in return. And that is important portion of yoga. Through that, you realize, because the Supreme Entity, the God, he is he's not a businessman, he is the serviceman. He is the servant of his children. He is the servant of the creation. So if you want to become like him, you have to develop that quality in yourself also. I will give without getting back. Anyway, there is we can talk 1, 2, 3 hours about that, why it's like that. And then finally there is this non-attributional, supra-psychic, one-pointedness. The mind is pointed somewhere. Where? Not to the attributional area, not to the objects, but to the something which is non-attributional. I feel that love, I feel that attraction. To what? I don't know to what. I have this feeling, I have this longing, yearning in my heart. I'm yearning for something great, something infinite. I am yearning for that kind of love that I cannot explain. So that is called devotion. You become a devotee of absolute entity. You become a devotee of God. And it is intellectual, not intellectual, it is emotional and devotional faculty. So these three, they play immense importance in our lives. Without knowledge cannot be proper action. Without action, knowledge is useless, because knowledge is necessary to act. And knowledge and action combined together, if you have become wise, if you have proper judgment, if you are benevolent, and if you know what is the right thing to do, you do it, and that action will liberate you. That action will elevate you. And in that elevation, you will experience devotion. This is what happens in the practical realm. How to experience devotion is completely unknown. You can talk about it, but to really feel that love, to really feel that magic, not easy. So all the three have importance. Knowledge, for example, if you read the book of a bona fide spiritual master, when I start to do meditation, I start to read the books of my spiritual master, Shishyanandamurti. You know, all these lectures that I am talking, I think is just one book I read, and from that one book I can talk all of this. It's so incredibly dense and rich. It's called Elementary Philosophy, Prarambhika Darshana. That book, if you read, first you will not understand, but if you read 30 times, you will have this feeling that you understood the entire world, everything. I remember when I started to read the books, this is one portion of knowledge, not everything. Another portion of knowledge is to do meditation. Without meditation, you cannot even grasp what is there in the books. But without the books also, your meditation is good to read the books. Well, some people may not agree that, and even illiterate person can achieve if he has love. But it helps also. It helps to properly attune your mind in spiritual practice. So I remember when I came across these books, I got really fascinated. And I didn't know English that time, and in Russia there was no translations. I saw this book which is called Discourses on Tantra, volume number 1 and number 2. I was getting just like, I need to read it, I want to read it, I want to read it. And I knew this is my spiritual master. There are so many books of this kind of in the shop and everywhere. I don't read any of them. I know this is the real thing. I want to read that. So I decided, okay, let me translate it. I don't know English, so let me take dictionary and, word by word. So I started to translate. And it was like, when I read that book, a completely new world has opened for me. And I felt that I have jumped 10 lifetimes ahead. My wisdom, I needed another 10 times to come and live and die. Experience the life, to gain that kind of wisdom. Maybe I will not get. Maybe I wouldn't get. Even after 10 lives. So this Mahavakya Viveka, to know the relevance, to know the importance of jnana. If you read the bona fide spiritual text, it will benefit so much. But then, some people, they stay on that level, and it doesn't become a true jnana. It just become intellectual burden. You have this vanity, I have read a lot, I know a lot, I know everything, I know spiritual philosophy, but there is no action. It means you read, but you're not meditating, you're not following the discipline, you're not doing the service. Then what is the meaning of that? It's completely meaningless. Rather, it is detrimental. It creates the burden, it creates the feeling of this egoistic feeling. So Mahavakya Viveka will not allow you to do like that. Mahavakya Viveka will tell you, hey, whatever you read, you have to utilize in practice. You have to practice what you have read. And then Mahavakya Viveka will tell you the importance of the service also. When you do service, the first beneficiary is not the one whom you are helping, but the one who is helping. Because through service, the heart is opening. And many knots in the mind get unknotted. I know people also in the depression, and then they go do some simple service. They feed the poor people, the homeless people, and then they report. They say, "Oh, I was 5 years in depression, but today I feel so joyful." And they cured themselves by helping others. If you are in darkness, let's say there is economic darkness, you are a poor person. Intellectual darkness, you are illiterate person. Cultural darkness, spiritual darkness. Through the path of service, that darkness will be dispelled. You just need to start doing a little action which is not for you but for somebody else, not expecting anything in return. And that will liberate the consciousness. The consciousness will expand, and as you are, what is in your mind, what is in your consciousness is reflected in your life. And then finally, okay, through this knowledge and through this action, these are two combined. If you have proper knowledge, if you know how to go to New York, and you go, you will progress. If you go but you don't know how to go to New York, you may go to Los Angeles. They're not necessarily going to progress. But if you know how to go to New York, but you're not going to go to New York, you're also not progressing. So these two have to combine, knowledge and action together. And that will ensure the progress. You're progressing. You come to the doors of heaven. You come to at the brink of the spiritual realization. Are you going to realize? You're not going to realize. Why? Because without love, it's not possible. To cross that bridge, that final bridge between existence and non-existence, between material world and spirituality, there has to be love. You have to jump. There is a great attachment to the I feeling. I am attached to my hands. If I cut my hand, I will cry 1 week. I will miss it so much. And the closer I come to my I feeling, this is only the body, is my external sleeve, my external, my external shape. But if I come closer to the I feeling, then the attachment becomes greater. So to let go of I feeling is impossible. You have to become mad from love. And the attraction has to become so strong that the dearest thing that you have, means your I feeling, your ego, you will be able to let go. There is this poem of the Rumi, of the great mystic poet. I don't remember exactly the words, only the meaning. He has said that I have come to the doors of heaven and I knocked, and there was a voice. Who are you? Who is there? Then I thought, it is me, such and such. And the voice has said, go away, there is place only for one here. And then I went away, and after some time, after many years, came back. And the voice again asked, who is there? And then I told, there is only you. There is nobody else. Nobody else is there. And the doors immediately opened. So this transition from me to you is not possible by mere action and knowledge. It is only possible by the madness of love. But luckily, action and knowledge transform the mind in such a way that this flower of devotion is growing, slowly growing. First it develops the roots. You don't feel it. It develops the roots. It develops the roots. You don't feel it. And then it opens up. And then you start to feel it. And then it blossoms. And it becomes the most beautiful thing in your life, in your soul, that you appreciate the most. So that's the Mahavakya Viveka, to understand the importance and relevance of the three yogas, and understand that knowledge is not enough, that action is not enough, that the summum bonum of human life, the greatest good of the human life is this feeling of attraction, this feeling of devotion. Somebody is calling you and you want to jump into the embrace of that supreme entity. So that feeling, and unless it's there, however the unition can happen, the yoga, how can it ever happen? Yeah, so the wise person understands that my ideal is life is not to become person of knowledge and intellectual. My ideal of life is not to become a person of action, the great man in the society who does so many things. My ideal of life is to become a true devotee of God. Thank you very much. This was the topic of 5 kinds of conscience. We talked about Nitya Viveka, the ability to discriminate between the spirit and the shape that this spirit takes in the particular circumstances of time, place and person. How the goodness is expressed in different times, in different places and with the different persons. Then we talked about Dvaita Viveka, and we tried to understand whether the goal is one, it is oneness, or it is a duality. What is our goal? It should be one or many. Then we discussed the Atma Anatma Viveka, which is the discrimination between spirit, non-spirit, and seeing the spirit in the non-spirit, and not falling in the trap of the false enlightenment. Then there was this Pancha Kosha Viveka, discrimination of the layers of the mind. And then finally Mahavakya Viveka, the great wisdom, discrimination of the 3 approaches of yoga. Thank you very much. Namaskar.